You're so hypnotizing. Could you be the devil? Could you be
I don't know. What's up, dudes, dudettes? This is me again, and it's been a while since I made a video about, bands and stuff like that, even though I only had like 4, and even though people don't really, watch my videos, but just wanted to make a video just to ask you guys, what kind of music do you listen to? Usually the people that look at my videos, listen to like hardcore, post-hardcore, deathcore, death metal maybe. Personally, my 2 favorites are post-hardcore, and deathcore, and death metal, I listen to like old shit, post-hardcore, like that when it was down with the hardcore punk, when it sounded just like hardcore punk, and it was down there with screamo too. I listen to post-hardcore, evolved, quote-unquote, post-hardcore, but, I listen to a lot of old shit. Deathcore, I've always listened to deathcore, but, I think I like it now more than I liked it back then. Death metal has always been my thing. And this whole thing with, post-hardcore, saying post-hardcore is for, posers and scene kids and shit like that, it's stupid. Same thing with deathcore. There's a YouTuber what was his name, Down with the Scene. Oh man, if you like deathcore, watch that video and tell me that shit doesn't piss you the fuck off. Seriously, I hated that video. That video was total dumb shit. Like this deathcore thing, people talk shit on deathcore because they're saying like deathcore is for a bunch of emo faggy bands, and and just like, if you're a person that hears this shit, you also hear that they compare deathcore to, when they talk about deathcore, all they talk about is Bring Me the Horizon. What? Bring Me the Horizon is not the definition of deathcore, okay? People say, oh, deathcore has those dumb breakdowns, and they have those pussy screaming, again, quote, pussy screaming, and it's just a bunch of bullshit. And every time they want to tell me about a band, they say, Attila, Bring Me the Horizon, shit like that, and I'm just like, Down with the Scene, he said that deathcore does not match death metal at all, and bands like Suicide Silence and bands like that, it's not deathcore, it's death metal. Suicide Silence is death metal influenced, but Suicide Silence itself is deathcore. There are so many deathcore bands that are brutal. I mean, just insanely disgusting. And they hear a breakdown. They hear just, breakdowns from like what? Asking Alexandria and, bands like that. I can't really think of any. They must have not ever heard of, something grimy. I've heard breakdowns that made me shit myself. I mean, you may think that's disgusting, but I've literally shit and pissed myself. But these breakdowns were so disgusting. And people say, oh, if you were in a mosh pit with, if I was in a mosh pit with a bunch of deathcore head kids, I'd beat the shit out of all of them. Yeah, right. There are some deathcore bands break down, make big ass mosh pits, and fuck you up. And it just pisses me off how people hear one thing from something, and they just make this whole big ass conclusion, and they make all these assumptions that they don't know anything about. I hear it a lot. I heard deathcore is just a phase, and blah 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 blah. All people who listen to deathcore are a bunch of posers and shit like that. I'm no poser, for one. I listen to death metal way before I even listen to deathcore. I listen to deathcore and death metal. My 2 most favorite death metal bands would be Morbid Angel and Cannibal Corpse. I know that's very cliche, but yeah, I mean, I listen to Agoraphobic, Nosebleed, and Pig Destroyer, but that more line goes in with the, you know, grindcore and stuff like that. But I don't think I'm opposed. I've been listening to that shit since I was, I don't know, like 8, 7. I don't know when I first got my first CD player. My favorite deathcore band would be Whitechapel, another cliche type of thing, Blind Witness, Carnifex, and Suicide Silence. Pretty much. Those are some pretty good bands. If you don't listen to them, you should check them out. Another thing, you know, aside from that bullshit, let's talk about something else. I know I'm very late on this, but The Devil Wears Prada, Born to Lose. That, if you heard that album, that's a pretty great album. A lot of people have been waiting for this album to come out. I mean, after the Zombie EP, and they said that they're gonna come out with a new album influenced by that Zombie EP. People were just off the rocks. I mean, they were just like, "Oh, they're gonna be heavy. This is good. This is something that, you know, we wanted to hear for a while." Especially because the Zombie EP was amazing. I loved it. Anatomy, that was one of my most favorite songs there. It just made me want to punch babies in the face and peel oranges on a treadmill while singing Lady Gaga's On the Edge of Glory. I don't know. But my most favorite songs from that album are Vengeance, Born to Lose, and Hold Fast. Hold Fast. Those are my 3 most favorite songs. Another album that just came out is the We Came as Romans album. That album was pretty good. Honestly, I like To Plant the Seed. I like that way better. But, you know, whatever. I still like the album. Still on my iPod. Still paid for it. Still pretty good. I mean, I know in my previous videos I've talked about how, you know, We Came as Romans use auto-tune and shit. That may be true, and I do hate auto-tune, but it's still a pretty good album, and you should get it. You should get the new Devil Wears Prada. And there are 2 albums that are coming out. If you like music like Devil Wears Prada, you should listen to this band called Structures. And they're coming out with a new album called Divide By. It's really... Structures is a great progressive metalcore type band. They're really great, and I think they're going to be big one day. Another band, if you like that, if you haven't heard it, Silent Screams. Now, I don't know when that album comes out, but the album's called When It Rains. So, you know, after this video, if you even watch the whole thing, go to the search engine, type in Structures, Divide By or whatever, and Silent Screams, When It Rains. You should definitely check that out. Alright, it's been like 8 fucking minutes or so, so I'm gonna go. If you have the new albums, if you want, type comment down there. I don't know if Shane Dawson does this, so I'm gonna do it too. Type down there your favorite Devil Wears Prada song from the new album, and when We Came as Romans. Any new song, just type, and I'll have a new review, talk, rant, whatever the fuck, next week, maybe tomorrow. I don't know. Well, see you guys.